You are listening to Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price on 97thebetfm.com. And we are back with more Conscious Fever, hosted by Carl Price, Esquire, on 97thebetfm.com.
All right, welcome back to Conscious Fever here on 97 The Beat FM and 97thebetfm.com. I'm your host, Carl Price, along here with DJ Ice. I've got a young man that I begged to come up here because I saw his post on Facebook and I thought it was very interesting. The post was Let's Talk. And that's what we're going to do. We want to talk to you too if you want to call us in at 502-384-6483. RKelly. Now let me just tell some of you all out there that some of these posts I can't read because I'm a little bit far away from the monitor. So if we can respond to the post, we will. But RKelly. Let's talk about RKelly. Everybody seems to have an opinion about RKelly. So I'm going to start off by saying what I've seen thus far. If you believe what's out there and what we've seen in the documentary, RKelly's a monster, man.
That's what they say.
I mean, he's a monster. And as we speak here today, there are women in his compound that cannot escape. And some say that they don't want to escape. Now, according to their parents, they want to get out. So, I mean, what is it? What is it that you know about what RKelly is doing? You know, based upon the discussion that was had on the Facebook page, Let's Talk. I mean, how is he mesmerizing and brainwashing these young girls? First of all, for those of you who don't know, RKelly has been notoriously alleged to have had continuous relationships and a fetish for 13, 14, and 15, 16-year-old young women. Okay, since he's become a star. It is alleged that he actually can't read, he's illiterate, and that he was abused as a child. Did we hear that also? Yeah. So I mean, what is it? I mean, first of all, what's your opinion about RKelly? I'm just curious.
Well, of course, I want to say that I am arguing the negative. You know, in a debate, there's affirmative and the negative. I'm arguing the negatives, saying that. I'm
not Tyrone, but I'm gonna say hello, Raven. What's up, Willie Aiken? We're talking about RKelly. I know y'all talking about him up there in New Jersey. So come on, join the discussion. But go ahead.
All right. Yes, everybody's calling him a monster because of these little girls that he's dealing with. I think that my whole Let's Talk segment was about saying that. I mean, it happens. There was a young girl who went to court. She was 14 years old, and she stated that it wasn't her. Her parents said it wasn't her, so he got acquitted for that. Aaliyah, of course, she was 15 when he married her. He married her. So all the other girls, as I'm understood, is they're being the age of consent, 16. And I know that might sound crazy for a grown man to be messing with a 16-year-old, but hey.
So RKelly is over 50 now, right?
He's over 50 now, yeah.
Yeah, he's over 50 now. So, I mean, but, okay, so let's talk about the 14-year-old who said it wasn't her.
Right.
Right, and I think he said in the Florida trial that was his brother in that tape.
Okay, yeah. He tried to say that, but that didn't go far.
It didn't go far, but he didn't get convicted.
No.
He did not get convicted.
No.
So, I mean, but isn't it strange that, you know, and I know he's a star, and I know that, you know, stars are target. Right? They are vulnerable to, you know, like somebody accused Dennis Rodman of being the father of her child down in Atlanta. The blood test came back and said he was not the father, etc., etc. And she said she knew it because he gave her an STD, and that turned out not to be true. But RKelly, I mean, it was well known that him and Aaliyah had a relationship because he married her.
Correct.
She was 14 years old. What man in his right mind?
She was 15.
Well, she was 15. 14, 15, 8, 9, it's all the same thing. I mean, she was a young girl, and to him, I'm sure, a young tenderoni. But he was in his mid-20s, right?
27.
He was 27 at the time. 27 and 15.
Right.
do you argue against that?
Well, I don't know. I mean,
She's not of the age of consent, and as a lawyer, as statutory rape in most states in the United States, 27 and 15.
Right, and my mother was, when she had me, when I was perceived, she was 14. My father was 19. So if we're gonna lock R. Kelly up, I guess we need to lock my father up too. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, but your father probably just had that relationship with your mother, who was 14. That's just one time. R. Kelly, and I don't think your father was kidnapping. I call it kidnapping.
Why are you calling it kidnapping?
Well, because that's what the reports are saying. The reports are saying that he actually, these women they go out to one of his concerts, and then all of a sudden they hate their families, and they never come back, and they just say, look, I don't have anything to do with their family. I mean, who does that? Who disconnect themselves with their family? What is it about this man other than shedding out money? They said he's got a pretty good shield around him, a pretty good armor car around him in terms of the group and of the people that work for him, that protect him. I think he is a pedophile.
A pedophile.
A pedophile. I do. I think he is a pervert. I'm just going to say it. I think he's a pervert. And DeJuan Bradley, I can't see what you're saying, DeJuan. Maybe you can see. Let's see. Hold on just a second.
He said, how can anyone know the truth to pass judgment when the only ones that truly know will
never come up and talk about it, right?
Right.
But come on. Let's just be logical here, though. If one person said it, then I think that's justified, DeJuan. But when you have all of these women coming out, and I know there were some women of age, the physical abuse, the sexual abuse, and all of that, I think this man is a monster. And I'm going to go on a limb and say, I think he should be prosecuted. And I'm going to tell you that if he were in this jurisdiction, if we ever find, and I was still a prosecutor.
You would prosecute him?
I would prosecute him.
Well, if you're going to prosecute him, it's a lot of folks you need to prosecute.
Well, I'm not sure if I would prosecute, but I don't think it's a lot of folks out there like R. Kelly, because then we will be talking about all those folks. And all those folks would be prosecuted now.
They there.
Okay, but I don't. But here's I guess Tyrone. I guess I'm trying to understand. So, in Kentucky, the age, you can give your daughter up and say it's okay to marry, and they do it all the time in Eastern Kentucky. Some say they marry first cousins or second cousins. I don't know about all of that, but all I know is that a 13-year-olds getting married in Eastern Kentucky is no big deal. Mm-hmm. So what I'm saying is that I understand that sometimes, you can fall in love, and love is the most powerful emotion in the world. But how do you, as a grown man, have any attraction to a little girl without being perverted? I'm just asking that question.
Well, I think with R. Kelly, because of his mindset, they saying he couldn't read or write. I think that those girls that he was attracted to was an easy target, because his thing is control. And with, when your intelligence level is not that great, then you have to say something to somebody where, where they're able to be like, okay, you got me. And I think with grown women, it's probably harder to, get their minds opposed to younger females.
So he doesn't get a pass because he's ignorant, does he?
A pass for what?
A pass to take advantage of young women because he's injured, because his mentality, his mindset is just as low as theirs.
You call it taking advantage of, I guess.
I think you're taking advantage. I think when you're 27 and you go after, or you're 50, because there are some reports out there that he's still doing it. When you're 50 and you go, he's still doing what is alleged to have been done. I'm just going to meet you halfway and say what is alleged to have been done. But you got to understand, I got a prosecutorial background. So I think he did it. I think all these reports are coming out. So, but a 50-year-old man, what does he not see? What was the little girl's name from long ago? I'm the good kid. Annie. Doesn't he see an Annie and a 16-year-old when you're 50 years old?
Do you see an Annie?
I do see an Annie. I see a little girl that says hands off. Now, DeJuan Bradley, I'm not going to let you put use the name of Jesus in the same sentence with R. Kelly, man.
He's not using the Jesus.
Well, I mean, that's what he said. He said there were a lot of people who said that Jesus wasn't the Messiah, but we know different.
Okay. I see Kelly Scroggins, a lady on here that I really admire. She said that she wants to hear what I gotta say. Miss Scroggins, what I'm saying.
Oh, in other words, Miss Scroggins, shut up, Carl.
No,
okay, go right ahead.
I'm not saying Carl, shut up. What I'm saying is, I'm not saying that I agree with him messing with young girls, but on all the videos that you've seen, all them girls even came out that they saying that they're survivors of. Okay. None of them have said that they was being held against their will.
But they don't.
They could have left at any time.
But no. Listen. That's just like saying the young lady who's been brutally controlled and beaten in her own home right now.
Mm-hmm.
We tell her when she comes to court, well, why didn't you leave? But that's a dynamic of domestic violence and abuse that really doesn't exist. It only exists in discussion. So I challenge you when you say that, they're not there at their own, against their own will, because domestic violence is a lot deeper than that.
A lot deeper than what?
I mean, it's just it's a lot deeper than just saying, okay, well, you can leave any time. I don't think those women can leave. I don't think they believe they can, because now there are reports that some of them were threatened, and they were told to tell the outsiders, no, I haven't been threatened. I love this man. You remember the young lady that testified, his first, I think did she marry him? The young lady that testified in the first trial.
The lady that testified in the first trial?
In the first trial, yeah. I saw her on The Breakfast Club. I've seen her on a number of other shows. And
you talking about Kelly? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Right. So, I mean.
Drill. You talking about drill or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
So how do you respond to what she's saying? Are you saying that she's just lying?
About what?
I mean, about everything that went on there. She talked about her having sex with R. Kelly and a 14-year-old girl.
Oh, no, we're talking about different people.
We're talking about different people. Well, she's the one that testified. Because she has some baggage and because R. Kelly has some good lawyers, apparently, her credibility was shot in the courtroom, and he ended up getting a not guilty verdict. But what I'm saying to you is that when you talk about these girls that can leave at their own will and all of that, I challenge that, because I know domestic violence is more than that, and control is more than that, and it's not as easy to say, there's a door over there, walk about 5 feet, and then you're out and you're gone and you're free. I don't think they're just staying around because he's got a lot of money. I think it's bigger than that.
What's bigger?
Well, I mean, I think it's the fact that, I think he's a pervert. I think that, we can talk about statutory rape all we want, but, there's the moral compass here, and then there is this side of what we talk about when we talk about the law. I mean, it's statutory rape. And some of these girls go in, it's almost like they go into a haunted house and they never come out.
But their choice.
Oh, come on.
I mean,
how many of y'all believe that these girls are choosing to actually be there and they say, hey, look, I'm just going to stay. This is the good life.
All the ones that are still there.
Oh, my God.
Do
we know how many are still there?
Well, we know the Savage girl is still there.
Okay, and she just won't come out.
Right. She says she's good. Leave her alone. Leave me alone. I'm good.
So what does that tell you, though?
That she's good. What do you mean? What it tell you? She's good.
Now, Kelly Scroggins says some of these women were chasing paper. Well,
Right.
Listen, I mean, we all know that. We all know that, what do they call them at concerts? Groupies?
Groupies.
Is that we call them groupies? So, they all go, and, and R. Kelly was a man in the 90s, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was a man in the 90s. But let me just pose this question to you, Tyrone. Do you believe that he should be prosecuted?
Do I believe he should be prosecuted?
He should be criminally prosecuted, just like Bill Cosby, just like Les Munez and all these other people. Not really prosecuted, but all these people that have lost their positions and different things like that.
I don't know what the charge would be. What would be the charge?
Come on, man. I mean, I think it's going to be rape. It's going to be sexual abuse. It's going to be sexual abuse. It's going to be rape. It's going to be kidnapping.
Rape is against your will.
No,
right?
absolutely. But who says that they're
They all said they was there because they was there. I mean,
Okay.
he didn't put a gun to their head and say, "Come on, let's go to my
How
house."
do we know?
Cause they ain't nobody said that.
No. But let me just say this to you. How do we know that when they are giving their statement that there's not a gun to their head, they never come out before a microphone like this and talk about it?
I'm talking about the survivors.
Well, I'm talking about the survivor. Well, wait a minute. Now, let's be fair on the survivors. Half of the survivors are saying we were not there against our will. We wanted to be there, and then the other half are saying, "Oh no." You know, you remember the one that said that, she got pregnant by R. Kelly and she secretly had an abortion, or she had an abortion because she said, this man is a pervert and I don't want to have his kids. You remember that, right? Mm-hmm. So, I mean, how do you respond to that? I mean, is this woman just lying? Did she not get what she want? Was she knocked out by the 14-year-old? Is that why we shouldn't believe her?
I believe her. I mean, there's nothing that she said that I don't believe.
Okay, so if you believe her, then let's talk about her story where she says that she was invited to have sex with R. Kelly because they, when they were dating, and he invited the 14-year-old girl in.
Right.
What's wrong with that?
She was 14.
Yeah.
That's what's
so
wrong
what's
with
right with that?
I didn't say no was wrong.
No, I mean, but I'm asking. So I'm asking, should he be prosecuted for that?
Well, he did. He was prosecuted for that, and he was acquitted.
That 14-year-old girl.
That 14-year-old girl.
So what about the other 14-year-olds?
There was no other 14-year-old.
That we don't know, right?
Right.
Right, that we don't know.
That's all we can speak about what we know.
Okay. So it's easy to take the position that, oh, well, that's not out there. But do you understand that the whole essence of domestic violence and abuse and control is this ideal of control?
Absolutely.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So if all we've ever heard is an audio interview of these women that are still there, how do we know that somebody doesn't have a gun to their head and said, and this is what you have to say? We don't know that, right?
We don't.
Okay. So how do we? I would just say this. I believe the parents. I saw the I don't know if you saw the documentary where the parents were going out and they were saying, "Listen, we're going to do whatever we can. He's in concert here and she's with him. She's going to be at the concert. We're going to go there." I believe those parents.
You believe what?
I believe that those parents believe that their daughter is held against their will.
But
and here's
their
the reason.
daughter is saying that they're not.
But she has never come out to say that. Why didn't she come on?
That was an interview that came on after the whole thing of Lifetime, where the guy showed the video of his daughter where he was having an intervention with his daughter, the Savage family, having an intervention with their daughter, and she had came home. She had came home, and they was talking to their daughter and telling her, "Hey, once you leave, what's the problem?" She said she want to be there. Leave her alone. She's good. She was at the house. She was at their house and said that and left back out. Did you see where the little girl where she came out and she left with her mother? Did you see that part?
I did see that part.
Did you know that she went back?
Because she just said, you know what? I'm going to be around a star. I'm going to be at a concert. I'm just going back. Why do you really think she went back? I'm going to give you a hint. Mind control. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Why do you think?
Yeah, it's mind control. That's
so don't you believe that that's a form of abuse?
Oh God, if we're gonna talk about mind control being abused, oh God, everybody would be locked up.
Is R. Kelly a modern day pimp?
Is he a modern day pimp?
Modern day pimp.
Is he a modern day pimp?
That's a hard question. See, when you ask him a hard question, that means that we all know what the answer is. It's kind of rhetorical, right? We know what the answer is.
I think that he has a pimp mentality, yes.
Do you think he has a pedophilia problem? Or is it okay to be attractive at 50 to a 14-year-old?
Why you keep on saying 50 and 14? There's been 114.
That's all we know.
Right.
That's what has come out.
So why are you talking about something?
Because I just don't think the apple falls far from the tree. I think that if there's been one 14-year-old and another 14-year-old and another 15-year-old,
you think they all that age?
I mean, come on, man. I mean, he's. Why don't he mess with a woman his age? Because a black woman would probably be like, "No, I'm running this show."
Exactly, the mind control.
So that's why he does
They're
it.
easier to control. I think.
Do you think he's controlling them though, Tyrone?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I don't. I think that we focusing on the fact of the sex part, but I think it's way bigger than the sex. That's what my blog was about. I think it's way bigger than the sex. It's about the control, the mind control of it. And I think in his mind, he just sees a whole lot of females just all around where he can just have them at his leisure and have them to do what he wants to do. I think that's his plan.
Yeah. Well, I don't know why. I mean, I like R. Kelly's music, and I will continue to listen to his music, but he looks, I mean, now, these days, he looks like a peeled off LeBron James.
Well, we can make him look how we want him to look, you know.
I know, with Photoshop and all that, right?
That's what society.
Because I don't even look like this for real, y'all.
Right.
I just, this is
he looks
just,
different.
I look different. But in any case, but for real, so, the Illinois, the district attorney, the new young lady, it's an African American female up there,
Mm-hmm.
Cook County prosecutor has said that she has opened up an investigation into R. Kelly and everything that she's seen on the documentary.
Mm-hmm.
Do you believe? I mean, thus far, because I know it's not over yet. There's still some more episodes to come. Have you seen all the episodes?
6.
Okay. Are they? How bad are the rest of them?
How many did you see?
I only saw like 2. I only do enough just to prepare to talk about it on the show. That's
Well, you needed to see all 6 to talk.
I don't
about
know
it
if I
on
can
the show.
stomach seeing all 6.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean, I can. I mean, I because some of the stuff that I was hearing, and I don't know. I just couldn't see them all. But what I'm asking you is that Cook County prosecutor deciding to open up an investigation. You think she'll find something that's credible? I mean, based on what you've seen, even if it's just in the documentary
Do I think that she would find something that's credible?
against R. Kelly.
Probably not.
Why not?
Because I just don't see something that could be. I mean, can we lock someone up for gaining somebody's mind and taking control of their mind? Is that a crime?
No, that's not a crime. But what is the purpose of doing it? You think he's just sitting around saying in his little voodoo with a Ouija board and all of that, saying, "Okay, I'm going to get your mind," and that's it? He gets their mind because he wants to have sex with them.
Okay, but
So the mind leads to the sex.
You understand that it's been women there that's been there for 9 years. How long does it take to have sex?
Oh hell, they've been there for 9 years. What is he? Does he have one of those compounds like they had in Waco, Texas, or something? Is that? I mean, is R. Kelly the Black Waco, Texas? I mean, I'm serious. I mean, I'm just saying. You know, like in Utah, they have. You know how they bust these camps and they have these preachers that are in these camps, and these preachers are saying, you know, I am the Messiah, and you know, you have all, and these are all of my wives. Is that? I mean, I haven't seen all the episodes, so is that what all the episodes are suggesting, that he has all these wives?
That's not what they suggest. They suggesting that it's about sex, but that's what they want you to focus on, so you can hate R. Kelly.
So you think this is a conspiracy against R. Kelly?
Absolutely.
Do you think it's a conspiracy by the Me Too movement to come after R. Kelly because he was acquitted many years ago with the 14-year-old?
Me Too movement.
Yeah, I mean the Me Too movement. You know, women coming out and saying, you know, I was sexually abused, so Me Too too. That's the Me Too movement. You know about the Me Too movement.
Yeah.
Well, you would be over talking in favor of R. Kelly and not know anything about the Me Too movement. But no. But seriously, do you think it's a conspiracy about the Me Too movement after him?
I don't know if it's from them or just society. Like you know when they get tired of you, it's time for you to set it down. That's how I feel. I mean, I just feel it's a conspiracy for sure.
You think it's a conspiracy for sure? I want you to answer. It says. So Dewan Bradley says, okay, as for me, I just try to be careful what I say about God's people. Okay, and that's acceptable, Dewan. And so let me ask your partner a question. Ty, you can read it.
What if you and everyone else that is accusing him is wrong?
Well, you're not accusing him. You're on his side.
Right.
Dewan, he's on his side.
So now you're gonna put me all in the on his side.
You're right.
So
No, I'm not saying that you're on his side, but I'm just saying that, I mean, you know, you're just taking the adverse portion. I mean, I'm up here talking like a sex abuse prosecutor.
Right. If I was
which is what I was.
with you, then we wouldn't have a discussion because we'd be on the same page.
Because we'll be on the same on the same page.
I'm
But
gonna argue the negative.
but Dewan, here's what I ask you. I'll ask you this question: Do you really do believe that it's wrong? that he's wrong, that this information, that the accusations are inaccurate? That's just the question. We'll give you time to answer it. So I guess for you, Tyrone, I guess my question again is that let's not talk about the legal part of it. Let's just talk about the morals of it.
Oh God, really?
No, I mean seriously.
You want to talk about the morals?
I want to talk about the morals of it. I want to talk about the morals of, and maybe it's just me. There's a lot of men out there and a lot of women who have dated and married 10, 15, 20 years younger. We know that exists, right?
Yeah.
But think about it. If he was 27 and Aaliyah was 15, that's 12 years.
Correct.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That means he's playing Little League football and she's in the crib. Having her bottles warmed.
Anna Nicole married somebody, she was 20-something, and the guy was 90.
He was a billionaire.
Right. And R. Kelly's a...
R. Kelly's not a billionaire, but that's a little bit different.
It's okay.
No, it's not okay. It's not okay. What I'm saying is that I understand, and Nicole was a prostitute. We know that.
Oh, come on.
No, we know that. No, come on, we know that. I don't care. I mean, I met her baby's daddy, who comes here, I think he still lives in the city. I mean, he knows she was oh God, I know his church members watch, but he knows she was a hoe. I mean, she was. Anna Nicole, everybody know that Anna Nicole was a little loose in the waist.
Okay, wait a minute. Are we talking about age? Are we talking about looseness? I mean, what are we talking about?
Well, we were talking about age, and then we got into looseness. So let's continue to talk about age. But here's what I would say about age. Here's what I did make this point. When R. Kelly was 12 years old, playing Little League basketball and Little League football, Aaliyah,
just born, a brand new baby.
Her mother was warming bottles.
Mm-hmm.
She could not sleep in a regular bed. She could only sleep in the crib. Mm-hmm. So when we talk about age, just keep that in focus. So when she started to walk,
mm-hmm.
She's 20. No, I'm sorry. He's 20. And let's say he's 22. She is 12 years younger. She is what? 10. Okay. So she's leaving the 5th grade. He's picking her up from school.
Mm-hmm.
You did see that in the documentary, right? Where he was, his posse was around, some of the middle schools. Did you not believe that?
Carl Price.
I'm just saying.
Middle school?
Middle school.
No, I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
No.
So Aaliyah's 10 years old. R. Kelly's 22. Where would he pick her up from? She's in the 5th grade. Elementary school.
He wasn't picking up Aaliyah when he was around school.
I know she came to the studio. I know that. But anyway, y'all.
This guy's funny.
Hold on, it says 20 is
funny.
20 is legal, 14 to 15 isn't. And that's Sharonda Thomas. I agree with you, Sharonda.
20 is legal, 14 to 15 isn't.
Isn't.
In the state of Georgia, where he was, 16 is.
No, she's in Georgia now.
Now, 16 was legal, is legal in Georgia.
Aaliyah was 15.
Correct. And he married her.
Apparently with her people's permission.
Well, actually, they had it announced. So I don't know how much permission they had, because I think she lied and said she was 18 or something.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
And we can talk about that all night, right? Somebody comes up to you and say, "Look, I'm old. I'm not underage," and all of a sudden they actually are.
My father married my mother when he was 19 and she was 14.
That's an isolated case, though.
What do you mean?
R. Kelly.
I've talked to so many folks who this has happened to. So many, and many was much older than my father.
Well, be careful when y'all come around me, because I still got prosecutorial friends over there. If that happened, rape doesn't have a statute of limitations in Kentucky. So I don't know how many people. I don't think the number is so big out there, Tyrone, that it's okay now to say, okay, well, that's just the norm. If you're not doing anything, you're 30 years old, you're not doing anything. There's an 8-year-old down there, that's hanging out.
So let me ask you this question, Carl. Do we put any of the responsibility on the female?
Not if she's 13 or 14 or 15 years old.
What about 16?
What about 16? I mean,
I'm talking about the 16-year-olds.
Okay, you're talking about the 16-year-olds. Listen,
the legal ones. That's what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the legal.
No, I don't.
You don't. What you
I,
don't. What?
I do not put the responsibility on the 16-year-old. No. I mean, I just don't. You do know that there are.
What about the 16-year-old's parents?
Well, listen, we know that they can be placed in a number of categories. These parents that try to push their children into the entertainment industry do the same thing that these parents do who are parents of athletes, right?
Mm-hmm.
They push them out there. Anything goes. You know, buy me a $500,000 house in LA and my kid will come to the University of Kentucky. We know that exists. Right. It happens in the entertainment industry also. Mm-hmm. So listen, there is no room for forgiveness for parents who use their children like that as a pawn. You know, that's just as bad as, what is a young lady from U of L that had her kids out there with the University of Louisville basketball team? Katina Powell.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, I mean, what about that? I mean, you know, Katina Powell and RKelly. Be a perfect match, huh? But other than that, but other than being a perfect match, I mean, Katina Powell and RKelly, she had her daughters out there. You know, they were minors. Right. You know, so that's a different category. Those are parents who ought to be brought into, you know, I mean, you know, when they meet the pearly gates, if they get to the pearly gates, you know, I'm not sure if they get in because, you know, that's bad stuff. So, so I think that when obviously the parents are adults, and I think they should share some responsibility. But, you know, the mind of a 14, 15, 16-year-old is so easily manipulative that it can happen. So I think they get a pass. That's just my opinion. I think they get a pass.
You think they get a pass?
I think they get a pass. And Peggy Lucas says some people support R. Kelly like people support Trump. Okay.
And she said those people that support him is evil. Hey, Peggy Lucas, how you doing?
Peggy said those people are evil that support R. Kelly.
I don't know if you was here from the beginning, but I did state that I was arguing the negative. I'm not saying that these are quite my views. I'm arguing the negative, so we can have a discussion of, you know, I guess I'm playing the attorney for R. Kelly. But don't fault me. I'm not evil.
Leon Lambert says, where there is smoke, there is fire. Something is wrong with this. And I agree with you, Leon. I mean, I agree. Where there is smoke, there is fire. And I guess that's the point I was making earlier. Where there's smoke, there's fire. There was not even a graze of smoke with the situation with your mom and your dad.
Why you say that?
I mean, because it wasn't.
My grandfather was furious. He was like, what's going? That's why they got married, because he was mad about it. Like, what are you doing messing with my 14-year-old daughter?
One time.
One time what?
One time he did that. What Leon is talking about, where there is smoke, there is fire. So in other words, every time there's a 14-year-old that leaves backstage with R. Kelly, that's smoke. And that smoke turns into fire. And the problem is, the reason why it's just not smoky, Tyrone, is because it's happened so many times. What about the ones we don't know about? What about the ones who are way too ashamed to come forward?
The 14-year-olds?
Well, I mean, you said the 14-year-olds. I'm going to go out on a limb and say there are probably some 13-year-olds out there.
Wow. Okay.
What do you do? No, so my question to you, here's my question to you, is, do you agree with the statement that where there is smoke, there is fire?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Denial is a
cop-out.
Wrong is wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. And why hasn't he come out to address this?
Why hasn't he?
R. Kelly.
Because he knows that we're looking, folks is looking down on him, like, you know, and if he comes out, he better have something really strong. And I don't think with his mental, I just don't know how strong he can be.
But he can't have it both ways. We can't say he's illiterate, but he's strong enough to brainwash these minors.
Young minds.
Well, young minds, you know
you can be 30-year-old with a young mind.
Oh, I get that.
There's been some 25 and 30-year-olds there too. You know that, right?
No, I understand that. Right. I understand the groupies are there.
It's all about the mind control. He's trying to grab their mind.
Right, but don't you think he crosses the line when he goes on? the documentary says that he's always been attracted to these young women. Always. You know, and one of the documentaries went so far as to say 12 and 13 years old. He's always, you know, just been attracted. I don't know. Here's my take on it. If he was around in my era as a prosecutor, I would have gotten him.
What you'd have got him on?
I would have gotten him on something, because I never let the victims just tell me anything. They can't just sit in a hotel room and make a phone
I'm
call.
talking about what you know. I mean,
Sex abuse, rape.
Rape on what? Rape on what?
Rape. Well, I mean statutory rape because of the age difference. Now you're talking about the 16-year-old.
Right. Can you get them on statutory rape when they age of consent?
No.
Okay, so you wouldn't have a
No.
case.
I mean, if it's force, you can. If it's by force.
But nothing was forced.
Okay. How do we know?
They
Some of the documentary says it was.
No, I didn't see that.
Oh, well, did you see the report from on BBC from England where the guy came over? Okay.
And what he said?
He says, you know, they were trying to get who's the girl Dominique they were trying to get out. They were trying to get Dominique, and
They got her out.
Oh, they got Dominique out.
That's the one that went back.
Oh, yes, the one that went back.
Yeah, she's the one that went back.
Yeah, he probably put a tracker on it like these used car dealers are doing now, and said, you know, now it's time to come back. Come on back to me.
And she ran back.
And she ran on back, right? That's what they do today. They put a tracker on your car when you buy it. You don't make the payment. They know it where to come to repossess it from. But I just think. But anyway, we're running out of time, and I just wanted to have this discussion.
You got everybody calling my phone like, what are you doing?
Everybody's discussion on. I just wanted to have this discussion on R. Kelly because I know we're going to have it again. And I asked this young man to come on because he was nice enough to
argue the negative.
To argue the negative. Your phone's blowing up.
I know.
You're right.
My auntie.
Yeah.
She's like, what's going on?
Yeah. You were nice enough to come in and argue
you
the
might have to have
negative.
an escort, take me out.
That's all. No. I mean, I think it'll be okay. I think I think the bulk of the Me Too movement is in California, but in New York. But the point is that this is an interesting discussion to have about R. Kelly, because I was surprised in listening to the comments on your Facebook page that people were so divided about it. I mean, it was just like people were saying, okay, well, this is a conspiracy against him, and
I think it is.
And why? I don't think it's a conspiracy. I think that where there, just like Leon said, where there's smoke, there is fire. And I just don't think.
But why? I guess my question is why now? It's been going on since the 90s. Why now?
Well, why Me Too now, right? Why the Me Too movement now, right? I mean, it's been going on for 40 years. Why the Me Too movement now? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. All I know is that women have risen up and they have said enough is enough, and
let's do something about it.
Well, and we not only let's do something about it, but we need to quit compensating these men who are engaging in these acts that are not only illegal but are immoral, and they're wrecking these young women's lives. Period. That's just my 2 cents.
Need to lock them up.
Well, I mean, you listen, I think they need to be locked up if the evidence is there to prosecute them. And I know that gets back to your point, because there's only so much we know. We only know what the press is coming. And, there's a lot of men, just like Justice Kavanaugh, right? A lot of people just didn't agree with bringing out allegations from him when he was 17 years old. I mean, I don't know. I think we all done some things, boys will be boys when we were, 17-year-olds. Leon says, respect, Ty, there's a hard position.
So that's a hard position.
That's a hard position to argue.
I'm arguing the negative.
He's arguing the negative.
Don't be mad
at our request here at Conscious Fever. So we don't want you to see him out on the street and say, man, that's that guy that agrees with everything about R. Kelly.
Right.
But so how long did your mom and dad stay married?
My mother passed.
Until your mother passed.
Yeah.
Okay. So I mean, but how many years was that? How many years were they married before?
Well, she passed when she was 26. So
when she was 26. Okay,
yeah.
So okay. I mean, love comes in all packages, but I don't think it comes in a package. I don't think we get the same package that R. Kelly gets.
We don't.
I don't think we do. I don't think we do. I want to continue this discussion on another day, but unfortunately I've got to go because I've got to be in court. And we've got all this food here that we have to eat from the so delicious food truck that came up earlier.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I know DJ Ice and we're gonna have to somehow guzzle this
As
down.
long as there's no pork or beef, I'm fine.
It is. I think there's some beef in here, but but there's no pork. But it's all seafood and chicken, which is my specialty: seafood and chicken. So anyway, but we want to thank you all for joining us here on Conscious Fever tonight. I'm sorry that I had so many topics. If you missed any of them about the government shutdown and what's open and what's not open, because I was panicking because I've got to go to Miami next week. And as I get on that plane, I want to make sure that somebody's watching that plane and watching those other planes.